What's going on, everybody? My name is Tough Pro Fans, capital TUF Pro Fan. It's the same on Twitter and Instagram. Please consider subscribing, following, all that fun stuff. How are you all doing this evening? Well, I wanted to bring you my quick thoughts and results of Ring of Honor Final Battle 2020. I decided to give it a shot, even though I don't watch much Ring of Honor. I thought, hey, let's give it a shot, and I have to say, I enjoyed the show. Many of you already follow me on Twitter, so you got my match-by-match reviews. I don't know if I'll go through everything here on this video, but I just wanted to give you my thoughts on the show. It was nice of Ring of Honor to give you that first hour, the 8 to 9 hour free on YouTube, or on Fight TV where I watched the whole pay-per-view. In the first hour we saw a lot of Quinn McKay, who's very nice to look at. They're backstage, and she's also on the Ring of Honor, weekly show. Very nice looking woman who was interviewing people backstage. And we got a couple matches on the pre-show. We got the 4-way match. Doug Draper, Tony Deppen, Josh, and wow. Blah. Can't remember all 4 guys that were in this match. That's sad. But Tony Deppen won, which is cool. I thought Josh Brooks was gonna win. I gotta restart this because I forgot. Do I have to restart this because I forgot all 4 guys' names? Look. Draper looked really good. Big, tall, awesome looking guy. Josh Brooks, I believe his name is, looked really good. The other guy, and then Tony Deppen pulled out the surprise victory. Deppen's going on to face Dragon Lee later on in the night. I'm sorry that I can't remember all 4 guys' names at this time. Tony Deppen won the first match of the night. That's all you gotta know out of this one. As Ian Riccoboni said, better to be lucky than good. Sometimes better to be lucky than good. I'm even slaughtering that quote, but you who watched it know what I'm talking about. The next match, which was on the first free hour of the program, was a Pure Rules tag team match. It was Yehai and Yuta, Wheeler Yuta and Fred Yehai, versus the Foundation's Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus. I remembered those guys' names. I thought this was a really good wrestling tag team match. I'm intrigued by these Pure Rules where there's 3 rope breaks and nobody can interfere or they'll get fired and all this stuff. I thought it was a really good match. Just showed off. Fred Yehai really likes the Koji clutch. He kept on going back to that well. Rhett Titus everybody looked impressive in this match, which is what you want when you're wrestling on pay-per-view or whatever you want to call it. The Foundation won, Titus and Williams. They looked impressive. Then we got to the main show, the main card, the 9 o'clock portion, the pay for it portion, and the Ring of Honor World Tag Team title match opened the show. It was the champions, the Foundation, which is Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham, versus the put-together tag team of Mark Briscoe and PCO. For people who may not know, PCO is Pierre or Carl Ouellet from the Quebecers a long time ago, and the Amazing French Canadians and all that. The man is over 50 years old. He's been wrestling since I was 6 years old. So it's just insane. He's slow. He's plodding. He's Frankenstein. He's amazing. Great match. The Cannonballs by PCO and Mark Briscoe were great. Jonathan Gresham, amazing, talented wrestler. Obviously, they've given him 2 belts and they're giving him 2 matches on a pay-per-view, so they know Jonathan Gresham is good. Jay Lethal continues to do what he does best, wrestle, like he said at the start of the match. There was a miscommunication where PCO shoulder blocked Mark Briscoe, and then Gresham rolled up PCO, so the Foundation retained their tag titles. I may get these matches out of order. Like I said, check out my Twitter for the full results. If I miss anything, I'm sorry. Next match, it was a little unscheduled match. Again, I may be getting these out of order. My apologies. But, Dalton Castle facing off against Ray Horace. Horace is part of the 6-man tag team champions, but unfortunately the other guys, Flamita and Bendito, like one of them or both of them or something, had issues with COVID-19 coronavirus protocols and couldn't be there. Same thing with EC3, unfortunately. I was looking forward to EC3 versus Jay Briscoe, but something happened with EC3 and COVID, so he couldn't be there either. But we got Shane Taylor facing Jay Briscoe out of it, which is going to happen later on in the night, so that's a plus. But back to this Horace versus Dalton Castle match. I wasn't that, I mean, it was good. Just a good match. Could have been on television, in my view. So, Horace won. Horace beating a former world champion is big for him, so go Ray Horace. But he's going to go back to the 6-man tag team champions, so as far as we know, so I don't know what it's going to do for him, but yay on Horace. Yay for Horace. And next up we got, again, may be doing this out of order, my apologies. We got Danhausen versus Brian Johnson. Love that Danhausen. Funny match. Danhausen proved that he can wrestle. I mean, anybody that's seen him on the Independents knows that he can wrestle. But he beat Brian Johnston with the old Eddie Guerrero type of tactic, Brian Johnson kept talking on the microphone the whole match. It was just jaw-jacking the whole match, calling Danhausen a clown and all this stuff. And Danhausen grabbed the microphone towards the end of the match and rubbed his makeup off and went poop and gave it back to Brian Johnson. The old Eddie Guerrero trick. Won Danhausen a Ring of Honor contract, apparently. So, that's cool. Gotta love that Danhausen. Next up we had, I'm trying to remember, the Grudge tag team match. Again, I may have been doing these out of order, but it was the OG Kingdom, Taven and Bennett versus Vincent and Bateman, the Righteous. That's their name. Vincent reminded me kind of a Bray Wyatt type character, and I don't know much about Bateman, the former Tyler Bateman, who was on NXT. I still don't know much about him. But, good grudge match. There was some fighting here. I was expecting them to go a little more new DQ in it, since it was a grudge, it was a little too much like, I hate you, but let's wrestle, type of thing. But, amazing dive off the top rope through Vincent, towards the end of the match. And, the OG Kingdom won the match, but then Vincent came back and tied up Taven and broke Bennett's hobbled him, a leg between the ankles and a steel chair hobbled him. So, that's not good. it was a high and a low. So that happened. I don't know if they're writing Mike Bennett off or whatever. We'll see what happens with that. And next up, I'm just going to keep going. Briscoe versus Taylor. Awesome match. Awesome, hard-hitting affair. Shane Taylor got the rub. He beat Jay Briscoe. Great match. Jonathan Gresham came back a half an hour war with Flip Gordon and was able to win. Knocked him out with some running forearms and all that. Dragon Lee beat Tony Deppen. Again, these are all good matches. Just great wrestling. In the main event, Roosh came out. He was a bad guy. He beat Brody King. Brody King didn't do that much, honestly. Roosh just kind of caught him off guard with all his bad guy disqualifying type tactics. It was really a showcase for Roosh, and he won after his dad, apparently. That's his dad. Hit him in the head, hit Brody King in the head with a steel chair, and that's it. So that's my quick review of Final Battle 2020. Thanks, guys.